It's 8:30 in the morning, and you're laying in bed asleep when you hear a piercing noise flood your ears. And who else could it be but an unknown number? Begrudgingly, you answer the phone just in case your grandma found herself lost in Indiana and had to borrow someone else's, just to find it's the most persistent people not in your contacts. Telemarketers. As an 18-year-old girl who's given up her information for any discount imaginable, I have dealt with my fair share of telemarketers. And I have found that the best way to deal with a telemarketer is to ensure they do not call back. Greetings. My name is Emily Gerald, and I will be sharing with you my top 3 favorite ways into annoying a telemarketer and to hanging up. Because there's nothing quite like fake business lingo, boneheaded questions, or the power of the word no to drive them senseless. Let's start with fake business lingo, because there's nothing quite like convincing them you know more about their job than they do. Lingo can be defined as vocabulary jargon of a subject or group of people, typically unknown by those not in said subject or group. An article from CoverKit Resources states, using language that your reader has to stop and try to understand will only make them frustrated and confused. And when they're confused, that leaves a lot of room for misunderstanding, and nothing gets done at that point. For example, if you get called by a certain telemarketer, you could say something along the lines of, but your competitor uses flux capacitors, and I personally saw outperform a Cray mainframe that had titanium chips. And trust me when I say they will not be on the phone with you much longer. Second, boneheaded questions. When they're answering your questions, they have no time to ask you any. A boneheaded question is a stupid or nonsensical question with an obvious or unexistent answer. When people are wrong, facts and evidence and game over mic drop moments don't matter. M.E. Leher. The effect is very similar to when you're watching a show with your mom and she keeps asking you questions despite the fact that both of you have not seen the show before, and it aggravates you to the point where you stop watching the show with her entirely. Lastly, we have a consistent stream of no's. It's hard enough to have a conversation with a brick wall, much less an aggressive one. No means no. And even someone as persistent as a telemarketer has a limit on how many times their advances can be turned down. And they will eventually give up. In the wise words of Lance Armstrong, a boo is a lot louder than a cheer. If you tell someone no enough, they will inevitably lose their cool or hang up. Both of which, in the practice of annoying a telemarketer, are the goal. So, being annoying is more than a useless attribute. It is a skill that can be honed by using fake business lingo, dumb questions, and the word no. We can prevent ourselves from even being subject to telemarketer scams. Though this may seem silly, or like I'm trying to solve problems that never needed a solution, this speech can spread awareness and teach others how to prepare themselves for a very realistic situation, which they most likely will face at least once in their lifetime. If someone is trying to offer you a ridiculous deal, you must fight back with a ridiculous response. The golden rule has always been treat others how you want to be treated. So if a telemarketer is wasting your time, it's time to step up and waste theirs. Thank you.